Checking in. Okay, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say thank you for joining my channel. Today you're here because you likely have a Venus in Scorpio in the 5th house placement. It's going to be my personal interpretation. My name is Pernell Bobby. I'm your astrotherapist. I'm checking in from Mexico City, and this is such a joy. Scorpio, 5th house, okay? Especially in the placement of Venus. Understand that all these can change based off your other astrological placements and how they pair up and contrast. But I'm going to try to stay specific on Venus in the 5th house for Scorpios. All right. Obviously, this is a placement of extreme passion. Okay. You add Venus, something of beauty, something that is artistically passionate. The Scorpios will like to sculpt with this position. Now, the sculpting will often be the metaphysical and even ancestral understandings of their subconscious mind and how they're able to access and communicate with, let's say, spirits, or through tarot reading, through any divination tools like tarot, like animal oracle decks, in order for them to integrate what are the shadows of their ancestors, what are also the shadows potentially of their children. You talk 5th house, you talk children. When you have children with the Scorpio 5th house placement, you're often going to have the children be some of your greatest teachers. They're going to teach you things that your second or first greatest teacher, depending on the time, would have been relationships, probably the relationship that made the children, or just relationships, which could have been flings. Okay, when you talk 5th house, could have been flings, or it could have been a love affair. When you talk 5th house, like this is the non-committal stages. And when you put Venus anywhere, Venus is the things that we value, yes. However, when you put Venus in Scorpio in the 5th house, Venus is also talking about, on the extreme sides, mind you, Venus is exalted in Pisces. So Pisces has that addiction property to it when it comes to drugs, sex, alcohol, any form of escapism. So Venus exalted here. So you have to always understand that Venus will bring addictions when you put anything or whatever the sign is at its extremes. So as this motorcycle passes by, like I said, I'm in the middle of the city in Mexico City, and I really love it here. You hear the birds. I want to say, before I go any further, please definitely hit the like, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. I am taking natal readings. I'm opening them back up. Right now, there are no discounts going on. That was earlier in the season, but you know, if that's not your time, it's not your time. But recognize that these are like astrotherapy sessions for me. I consider it astrotherapy. We do breath work, we go through, and you're able to kind of go ahead and release what you need to get off your chest, what you need to allow as for secrecies to come out, but still have it in a safe masculine container. This is what I look to do for you in order for you to express and just get your therapy out there, right? Like these are the more unconventional, I am a Scorpio rising, right? So these are the more unconventional forms and methods of therapy, not necessarily psychotherapy, astrotherapy, using astrology, helping you get more in touch with your soul, okay? So I bring it back to Scorpio, Venus in Scorpio, 5th house specifically. You can really tell I'm in the city, huh? And your greatest teachers, like I said, I want to just emphasize this again. Your greatest teachers will be your lovers. They will be the people you've had sex with. They will be the people who you had tantric experiences with. They will be the people who you've had an affair with. Okay, 5th house. You put Venus here on that extreme side, on the addictions. You can really be a placement of having affairs, but also you're so secretive, okay? You're so private that if you don't want anybody to know, no one will ever know about this affair, okay? No one will ever know about your romantic life or your sex life. No one also will even know about your creative projects. And what is important about this Venus and Scorpio placement in the 5th house is it's all about finding your true identity, okay? Leo is at home at the sun. This is our identity. And Leo is all about the truth and making sure that you experience your truth with honor, okay? You experience your truth with charisma, and that you actually put yourself out there. So normally you'll put yourself out there, but Scorpio creates this privacy sector where you're never going to know everything about a Scorpio and Venus sex life, their romantic life, about their affairs, even their partner, even their best friends, like even their loved ones, even their next kin, whatever it is. No one's ever really going to know all the secrets of a Scorpio with a Venus placement unless that Scorpio and Venus has come to terms with it themselves, and they've gotten to a place where, excuse me, they now want to share that because they're being forced to kind of go through some sort of death, rebirth, transformation. And usually a lot of times that's the only time some of those secrets will come out, because those secrets begin to promote stability. And a Scorpio and Venus 5th house, what they really want as part of that fixed signs, they will always chase peace and try to get more stability in their lives as they dive into that Taurian aspect. This is kind of where it's like, I don't know if it's in its fall or it's debilitated, forgive me on the language. Taurus being home, Libra being home, okay, signs of harmony and peace. Venus in Scorpio has this desire to experience that harmony and that peace. And they're often going to find, with the 5th house in Venus here, they're often going to find a lot of happiness, okay? And it's going to often cause them a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, a lot of whatever it required to die, okay? Especially, like I said, from a metaphysical level, oftentimes their deaths aren't really obviously physically, because they're still alive, they're living their life experience, their human experience, but they have this mystical aspect to them where they really have to go through the changes that pain might bring in their lives in order for them to express that true identity. 5th house again in Venus. And this is something that, in order for them to access their creativity, and I say this as a Scorpio rising, I look to really try to really bring my creative nature out without having to be in pain. And sometimes it's just fucking hard. Like I find myself, even as Scorpio rising, not really being able to create something so beautiful or even be my true authentic self without having to experience pain. And that's why these 5th house and this Venus here, that's why these love affairs will, every time I've been involved where like I've had somebody cheat on me, so I'm like, these have been my best fucking rebirths. These have been the most passionate and creative projects where it's like, I almost find it's difficult, and I feel like this is accurate for Venus and Scorpio as well, 5th house, that it's difficult to be creative without something tremendous or horrific happening, okay? So what I will say is with this Venus and Scorpio in the 5th house, recognize that Venus is, yes, of course, what we value. So you're going to value the occult. You're going to value communicating through like, what is that, like the Ouija board, or I know Venus in 5th house Scorpio, and you know, she's really into the angels, right? Like she's connected and communicating with the angels all the time. She can generally see colors, right? Like she can see colors, and those colors will communicate things. She can smell things from different dimensions, different realities. So this is all like Venus and Scorpio, and those smells, like one of the things, like, okay, angels love sweet, right? So you can like smell sweet, whether it's sweet chocolate or some sweet something. And it will give them indications on, okay, look, my angel is here right now. And so Venus and Scorpio, they have the ability to communicate with spirits. They have the ability to communicate with everything that you can't actually see on the physical plane, but it doesn't always come up in a visual. That can come up in your 5 senses being tingled, okay? Venus, Taurus being the 5 senses, your smell, your touch, your taste, your sight, your ability to hear. They can hear things, clairaudience, that others can't hear. They can smell things that aren't physically actually in the environment. And I know this is a placement of, there are 2 things that can happen with this Venus in 5th house, okay? You can see this person, depending on all their other placements, it's really going to matter. You can really see this person with a lot of fucking sex. They have a lot of fucking sex, non-committal, just like having sex just to have sex because it could help them avoid, it could be one of their escape mechanisms. I've seen this, like I've seen Venus using sex as an escape mechanism because they don't want to go through that next rebirth, that next death rebirth process, which they're forced to do regardless. So either spirit is going to make them do it, or they're going to go ahead and willingly do it themselves. But ultimately, it's happening so that they can experience the next level, okay, of their true identity. And the thing is, a Scorpio will never ever reach their true identity because their entire DNA is to transform. Okay, it is to regenerate after the shaman's death or the ego death. Okay, so 5th house is really big on the ego, right? So it's like they will always have to have their ego challenged, which happens with their kids that they have. Their kids will challenge the ego, or their romantic partners who they really, you know, don't have nothing really serious with. This placement is very tough for a person to get, especially if they've been hurt already. okay, if they have not been hurt, then they're gonna be one day. I mean, they likely been hurt, but they likely would have committed and been supremely loyal to somebody, a partner, romantic, a friendship, whatever, where that person helped them. They were able to gain their creative expression. They were able to literally have gains, because Scorpio transmutes the gains of others. They would have been able to gain a sense of their identity, a sense of their true and authentic selves through the cheerleading of their partner, telling them, hey, you're the best, telling them you're awesome. But then if they would have got to a point where they got hurt or whatever and they lost that, this person can now really struggle to kind of do it on their own, and they don't like that because ultimately they want their partners to be self-reliant. A Venus in Scorpio, 5th house, they really want to have self-reliant partners. They have the ability to go ahead and, you know, enliven the life of the others, but especially if this is a woman, they're going to want a man who will be very self-reliant, and anything that they decide to give out of their loyalty, out of their deep, passionate, scorpionic type love, they're giving because they want to give, not because it's an obligation. If you're a male and you're dating a Venus in Scorpio, you have to know this up front. Like, if you're not self-reliant and you expect that this person is going to, you know, help you with money, which they probably will, or help you with a home, they probably will, but they're also going to lose respect and trust for you at the same time. So this will not be a lasting relationship. This will be a fling that will, you know, have probably been super duper passionate, but also fleeting. Now, there's the other side of the Scorpio rising where they might, not Scorpio rising, excuse me, a Scorpio and Venus, where they might have had sex with literally nobody, like one person, and they're like in their mid 30s, and they might have sex with one person, maybe two people. Now this happens on the other side where Scorpio is a very loyal sign. So let's say that this person, I know another Venus and Scorpio with like, who's a Virgo versus one who's a Sagittarius. Very big difference, right? Virgo, more about like purity, right? Like they want to keep their body, Virgo, pure. Sagittarius is like, they could have sex for fun, literally for sport, to just literally try some new awkward, crazy things, which a Venus and Scorpio is all about. They want to do some nasty, nasty things. They want to lick areas that don't even exist. They want to always take sex to the extreme. So whether you're pure on the Virgo side or, you know, extravagant with the Sagittarius side, when they do have their sexual partners, they really do take things to the extreme. And that could be the extreme of they're withholding sex altogether. And they're just saying, look, and they could be using that as a form of punishment. They could literally withhold sex as a form of punishment from a partner or person. Or they could want to have sex so much that like that other person can't keep up with their drive. Mind you, Mars and Pluto, these are the planetary rulers of Scorpio. So this creates power through sex. They literally have domain over their partners, especially 5th house, their non-committal partnerships. They have domain over their spirit, okay? Not even their physical body, but over their soul. They literally will entrap your soul, and they have the ability, Venus and Scorpio, to make you desire them. They're spellcasters, okay? They have the ability to make you desire them, even if they're not beautiful, even if they're like overweight or they're like overly skinny, and like they're gonna have this magnetic draw, this pull where you're gonna be like, why are you so hot? Why are you so sexy? You're not even really my type, but you're gonna feel, they have the ability to spell cast where like they're so desirable and so magnetic and so attractive that they're gonna feel like, you're going to feel like, wow, how have I ever went this long in life without experiencing such a seduction? And as a part of that, they can make you do whatever the fuck they want. The difference is you can't really make them do what you want. And if you can, which I really believe a 1 to 3% can do such a thing, but if you can make a Venus and Scorpio do what you want, you will reverse the magnetic polarity, you will reverse the sexual polarity with them having all the domain and control, and they will literally surrender like a flower if you can do this. Now, let's say if this is a woman, what this will require is basically a divine masculine presence, someone who has probably had their own sexual experiences where they were also extreme. They had their own sexual experiences where they are in control of their sexuality, they're in control of their urge, and they can control it, because Scorpio has the ability to stretch out, especially sexual endeavors, and especially the 5th house, it's highly sexual placement. Like Leo's influence there is like, it's like, yo, like, and I don't know if you like Leo sex is bomb ass sex, right? So it's like, Scorpio has the ability to stretch out desire, to stretch out passion, to stretch out who or when they have sex with. So they can make you wait into a point where you just feel like you're drooling. You're like, right? And as a part of this, they will need another person who is self-reliant, not reliant on the sex that you'll get from a Venus Scorpio, but reliant on their own diligence and authentic and sexual expression. This is one of the things that will make a Venus and Scorpio start to melt, because they've been able to control people all their life with their sex appeal. So the person that they cannot control is the person that they start to want to open up their flower to. Even though that still may take a long time and that still may happen in stages, understand that with this, you know, that person, that Scorpio and Venus, they may finally, they always reach a point of like extreme happiness. But again, Scorpio, extreme, which also means they reach always these moments of extreme lows. And they need a partner. If you're dating a Venus or Scorpio, they're gonna need a partner who can hold their own, who can withstand the pain and the traumas that they go through, because they can't ever really secure stability from a happiness standpoint. They can never really just be happy all the time, and they don't want a partner who's happy all the time. They need somebody that they know who can be vulnerable with their darkness, who could be vulnerable with their transformations, but also to be a warrior, to be strong. Because Scorpio has this ability where it's like, you know, they're always strong, they're loyal, they can penetrate literally your soul. And as a part of that, you know, the soul has elements that are not always even in this time zone, this dimension. And a Scorpio Venus, they can understand that as a part of your true expression, 5th house, that your soul is not just this, I live maybe to 100 years old, right? They know your soul has lived many, many lifetimes, and they can actually see the soul. They can see the pure light of you. And as a part of that, pure light always attracts the darkness. So if you are invested or involved with a Venus and Scorpio, you need to know that if you cannot address your darkness, especially also on your own, without the help of the Venus and Scorpio, you're never gonna last. You're gonna be in the non-committal discard pile, and they're gonna just kind of be like, yeah, you're not enough. Now, on the opposite end, I guess if I try to like wrap this message up, what I would like to say about Venus and Scorpio in the 5th house is, 5th house does represent children, but it's not necessarily about how many children you have. It's more about wherever your 5th house sits. So we're talking Scorpio now. It's going to be all about how, one, you might raise those children, and how you might express your divinity, okay? How you might express your light, your soul, through the eyes of your children. So you're going to be very possessive of your children. You're going to want to control the perception that other people see your children as, because this is part of the way that Scorpio maintains control, power, and domain over people. So for me as a Scorpio rising, it's like rising, me, myself, my personality image. I will, part of the mask, put a certain image out there that helps me control the environment. Like I'll give people a certain image of myself, which always is changing because we're always transforming, right? So it's like, what image am I giving you today? Now with a Venus and Scorpio in the 5th house, they might control the perception that people see their children as, how people view their children. And that's how they'll maintain control, which is why your children, if you have children at Venus Scorpio, they're going to often be your biggest test. They're going to be the one that challenges your ego to such a tremendous extent that they're going to force you to transform. They're going to force you to go through that rebirth process that Scorpio is always involved in. And you're going to really value your children to a way where you have to also know when to let go. You have to recognize that, you know, you may not be necessarily holding on in a physical sense, but recognize Scorpio is seeing the unseen, right? Beyond the layer A, B, C, D, all the way through Z, and beyond dimensions, times, realities. So I know this, my mom actually, okay, wow, my mom has a Venus in Scorpio. So like I had a conversation with her and I told her, it's like, look, like I can feel you, Mom. I can feel you hovering me, and I need you to stop because, and as a part of this, I need you to stop because I know that part of my being like an Aries moon is like, I have to set these boundaries with you. Because my mom is a very fucking powerful woman, and she raised a very powerful fucking light being, wherever the fuck I'm actually from, right? Like I'm not human, I'm not from Earth. So I needed someone so powerful to raise something that I am, as powerful as I am. I needed somebody so strong to raise it. So whatever you've seen on my channel, how much power you see emitting from me, you're never going to see it all. And this is something that you need to understand with a Venus in Scorpio as well. You're never going to see it all. You're never going to know it all. You're never going to get all their secrets. You're never going to get you're never going to see the most private crevices of their life. You will never know everything about a Venus in Scorpio's life or Scorpio rising life. Any Scorpio, you will never know. First off, because they don't even know, because they're transforming at such an accelerated rate by the day, by the minute, by the hour, by the month, by the year, by the millenniums. Okay. Their soul is so ancient. Their soul is so deep in the abyss of the unknown, the nothingness that they don't even know. So you definitely can't know. And even if they did know, they still wouldn't tell you. Okay. You're never going to get it all. So if you're somebody who needs to know it all and you're like married to somebody like a Scorpio and Venus, and you feel like if they don't tell you everything that it's not going to work, then you might as well just fucking quit today, because it ain't going to work. All right. And so just understand that, especially if you have children, or even you went through these romantic affairs, it's like, for me, I don't have children, right? But for me, it's like I've been involved on the other side of like, there's been so many affairs, right? And I had what it was teaching me as well is that, like, for me, again, as a Scorpio rising, what it's teaching me as well is that, like, I'm never going to actually be satisfied with one woman. It's just not possible. But as a part of that does not mean I'm going to be having sex with every woman. It's more a matter of me putting roles on her. Like, hey, look, you are going to be my intellectually stimulating friend, where there's never going to be sex. You're going to be a sapiosexual connection. And you're going to be my one loyal piece. It's like you and I, like, no, you just don't have the right, point blank period. Like, you and I, you can't fuck other people, period. Or it'll be like, you and I are just going to go through investments. We're going to invest energy in each other, and we're going to make a shit ton of money. And as a part of that, like, we're going to be highly intimate on that level. And so it's something to just be created out. And the Venus in Scorpio is going to be somebody, when it comes to relating and dating with them, you're going to need to have a very transformative type of relationship with people. Don't expect to live by traditions, because again, you have access to the soul level. When you talk about the soul, it's like, think of kings, for an example. It's like, none of them had one wife. None of them had 2, 3, 4 wives. They had hella wives. One wife would just be there to feed me grapes. Okay, you feel me? So it's like, you're literally here to feed me and keep me satisfied. You put Venus is like agriculture and food, right? It's like, in your romances, you're gonna want somebody, whether it's you or the person, you're gonna need good food. All right, it's gonna be a part of, you're gonna need to be courted. You're gonna want to be courted. And what I want to say is, somebody's choking up, but I'm like revealing their secrets. Excuse me, boogers, you feel that? Spirits are coming out. I'm revealing their secrets right now. Somebody's not happy. All of these Venus and Scorpios right now. Look, somebody's even crying. Somebody's literally having a whole release right now. And this is a part of, excuse me, they really don't want me to talk, but I'm talking. This is a part of Venus and Scorpio. You guys are so intuitive. You feel so much. Don't ever forget that we know, okay, I'm going to say, I know as a Scorpio rising, and other Scorpios, only Scorpios will ever be able to know. Sag might be able to see with their perception, but their perception is also their personal truth, which is very subjective, right? Like, it's their personal truth. Even though they can see it, they can become very, there's a word, not dogmatic, which they also become, but they can become very, like a superior complex, like, my way is the way, right? So, but no one ever will be able to know except for Scorpio. Excuse me, look at, they're like, don't go back to the truth. Excuse me, wow, they're coming out. I'm talking, guys. My throat chakra's clear. I'm spilling the beans. I'm here to help people. Excuse me, Jesus, there. Yeah, I got a bunch of y'all. I got at least 3 to 4 of y'all that's just like in combination. You're trying to hold me down, and it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, because I can see what you can see, and I'm here to help. So just understand that I'm here to help. It's not even about you. But with that being said, that final piece is, you're soft, okay? Understand that Scorpios can be so violent, and there are definitely ones that can kill somebody over a romantic affair that has gone wrong. Like, so don't ever get it twisted. Like, if you need to be very clear with your communication, or before you even coming in, you need to know your frame on like, what are you willing and not willing to do? Because a Scorpio will kill you. I can attest to this. Like, they will kill you. And they don't always have to kill you in the physical plane, right? They can literally kill your spirit. They can kill your soul, and they can set you back 15, 20 years or your fucking lifetime. So, be very careful. and just communicate about what are the terms and conditions of your love, of your romance with people, because you value this, and that on that addictive side, that the highly addictive side, death is a part of it, and those deaths also are not all, they're metaphysical deaths. So what I would say is, with this placement, you really need to focus on what are your feminine releases. Okay, what are your feminine releases? Because if you don't find something consistent enough that allows you to explore and experience and reveal your true identity, fifth house in Venus, you will find ways to escape into the addictions of the unknown. You can create circumstances that didn't exist, and these can manifest as physical injuries. These can manifest as sexual diseases. All right. If you find yourself ever having a sexual disease with this placement, especially with the fifth house in Venus, it's like, which one of your romances did you cross the line? Which one of your romance did because Scorpio, you're a god. Okay, you're like a god between gods. You're between worlds. You're the top of the human existence, and you're worshipped by all the humans. Okay, every zodiac prior as the eighth, and then you're the gateway. You're the heart chakra. So understand that with the Venus in Scorpio in the fifth house, Leo is the heart of the sun. Right? It's the heart of our identity. It's the heart of our truest and most authentic and natural expression, the one that is out on center stage. But the privacy that Scorpio requires really stops you from showing yourself. But recognize that fifth house is a social sign. So your truest expression is not actually about you. It's about what you can do for others to make them shine. So as a part of that, you have to come out of the shadows. You have to come out of these private and secret moments so that you can help other people shine their personal light, which ultimately is about you shining your light. And just be careful of when you require so much praise from other people in order for you to take their gains and manifest it as your gains that you multiply and amplify. Be very careful, and don't forget that you are sensitive, you are compassionate, and underneath that hard shell of yours, which is really mostly an offensive stinger, right? You want to sting people. You want to get them out of your life, which could be these quick non-committal stages of love. You want to get them out of your life up front so that you don't have to experience those, or you don't have the other person experience how soft, how mushy, and how loyal you really are, how deep you really do love. And all these things are very important. They're critical because you deserve love, you deserve intimacy, and it is what you want more than anything else. So stop pretending with a Venus in Scorpio that you don't want to have such an intimate and deep relationship, because you do, you do. But also understand that if you only sting people up front, as soon as things start to get real, as soon as things start to get real, as soon as your light, your true light, they see, when somebody else can see your true light, which most people can't. Okay, so when you see somebody that can, you get very, you want to start to flee. These are why you stay non-committal in these relationships with the Venus in the fifth house. This is why you stay non-committal, because you realize that you do value something that can be an actual lasting, loyal commitment. If you're looking for an actual personal natal reading with me, AstroTherapy session, you need that release, you need a divine masculine to go ahead and hold space for you. This is something I've been doing. This is something I'm opening up for you. Within this said, I do want to mention that involve yourself in more tantric sexual practice, something that doesn't always require penetration. That is going to be how I believe you open your heart the most, because again, like I said, you are the heart chakra, Scorpio, and in the fifth house, Leo is the heart of the sun. So it's like, you got to focus on what do you need to do to forgive whoever has hurt you to an extent that you feel like you've never were going to recover from, and recognize in what ways have you already been hurt like that and you have recovered. So put the focus there. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know and for what you've allowed as you got somebody underneath your harder shell, into the soft, gushy parts of your love. Forgive yourself for allowing them to get there, and realize that this was required in order for you to start to show your true Leo type self. Don't stay so fixed on the narrative, on the story that you've created in order to protect yourself. You got to let it transform, because the world needs you. With that fifth house, this is an interpersonal sign. This is you having to really help others find their truest expression, but it only happens as you reveal the light within you. So Scorpio, anybody watching, you want to get a natal reading with me, check down for my AstroTherapy sessions below. Obviously, I want you to, if you're still here, drop a Scorpio sign down below. Just go ahead and confirm that you are Scorpio, that you rock and resonate with this, and hopefully that something was revealed about yourself, please comment down in the chat below and let's start some communications. Let's start some discussions about how we can help other people just by sharing your personal experiences about what you're willing to share, because we know you're private. We just made all that very honest, but understand that you're not secretive, you're private. And there's a very big difference between being secretive and private. Even though you can hold the secrets of the universe, Scorpio type things, literally of the occult, of the darkness, you can hold the secrets of others that you share resources with to the death. And I know for me, like, this is highly attractive because I am somebody with the Pluto and 12th house Scorpio. Like, I hold the secrets of the universe literally in my soul, in my heart. And as a part of that, I need somebody that I know I can share some of this stuff with, because it's a lot that will never ever share that with anybody. So understand that there are people out there for you. I'm feeling in my heart, in my solar plexus right now, like a release, a nervous release, like somebody that's like having a moment. And I just want to say, you know, there are people out there for you. Venus in Scorpio, 5th house. If you rock with this interpretation, drop the Scorpio sign, share an experience, a personal one, down below. And I want to say I love you. I appreciate you for joining us. Book a session with your boy. And I'm opening up some new things in case you want to have a tantric session and you want to fly me out, okay, on a non-penetration standpoint. I'm about to open up this as a practice, okay? I'm not even kidding. I'm about to open this up as a practice. And also understand that if you're not somebody of 100% pure light, it won't work anyway. So you can reach out, but if you know you're not, don't even try. But if you know you are, then we'll be able to make it, okay? Because otherwise my angels are gonna deny it and it's not gonna happen. But outside that tantric session, you don't have to be 100% pure light for you to actually book a AstroTherapy session with me, because I'm gonna help you to purify whatever dark entities are within you. I'll see you soon. This is such a joy. Pernell Bobby. Hit that like and subscribe. Ciao.